Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It's Wednesday, February 26th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
The Queen of Country coming back to the capital.
Let's go, girls.
2 years after she performed at LeBreton Flats, Shania Twain announced as one of the headliners of Ottawa Bluesfest this summer.
Shania was the biggest sellout we've ever had in the history of the festival in 23, so bringing her back.
Joining Shania, rising country star Lainey Wilson, who will close out the first night of the festival on July 10th. Those two putting women in the spotlight. According to Book More Women, over 75% of performers at the festival last year were men.
We're always striving for gender, parity if we can, and sometimes we can achieve it. Sometimes the headliners, Green Day we want to get. How do we counter that with, a great female band? Well, the Lindas is an all-female rock band from LA, so they're opening for Green Day.
Rock lovers have lots to cheer about, from Green Day and Papa Roach to Def Leppard. There will be plenty of nostalgia in the dog days of summer. Also making his return to the city, Hozier. The Irish singer performed at City Folk in 2023. Mike Roy owns Legend Records in the Wellington West Village. If his inventory is any indication, it's going to be another popular few days.
They're all artists that we're sold out of right now, and we'll have back in stock hopefully in the next few weeks. There's a lot of big names this year, so I don't know who I'm going to go see, but maybe I'll be there for one night.
Despite some criticism online, people we spoke to excited.
Big on Hozier, yeah. Shania Twain too. Yep. That should be a fun time, yeah.
Will you get a full pass, or what do you think?
I'll get a full pass. This is a lot better than last year.
I would go see Hozier. Yeah. That sounds really cool.
A big one?
Shania Twain.
A one-day pre-sale for a full festival pass is on tomorrow for $300. Single-day tickets go on sale Thursday.
The torch looks brand new because it's never been lit. Richard Corbell's dad was contracted to use his state-of-the-art laser printer in the early 1980s to make the sporting images on the handle. They were gifted this torch.
This torch really united the country. It doesn't matter what part of the country it went through. That was like top story news. It was a big deal.
Corbell says the Calgary torches are one of the rarest in Olympic history, with fewer than 150 made.
4 or 5 years ago, an unlit torch went for $49,000 US in a major sports memorabilia auction. So that's where we came up with the price of, our asking price was $50,000 US.
He took that asking price to Las Vegas and the Pawn Stars reality show, but he couldn't agree on a price from the show's host. Scott Hayes started collecting pins during the Calgary Games. He says they're worth what people are willing to pay for them, and has seen some sell for up to $150 today.
At the end of the Olympics, they sold everything for 10 cents on the dollar. So if you bought a pin for $5, it's worth 50 cents. But there is some that are less amounts that are valuable and still valuable.
Ryan Trabadello is the owner of a vintage clothing store called The Portal. He has a number of Winter Olympic items for sale.
We have these jackets going on for about $150. And I think this sweater we have it at $88.88.
Trabadello says his inventory of Olympic gear always sparks conversations from customers.
The fact that this is like the only Olympics that we had, there's a bunch of this cool gear. I don't know. I think it's like a cool kind of like vintage local vibe, which I love.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Iconic sneakers meet art at the Badish Shoe Museum in one of their eye-catching exhibits.
So this exhibition specifically is asking, why are artists that you see in museums now doing so many sneaker collabs? And the question I'm posing is, are sneaker collabs replacing artists' prints?
The Artwear exhibit explores the merging worlds of sneaker culture and art, asking the question, can the sneakers we wear every day be considered a canvas?
I think that it really is art. I mean, one of the rules, though, that I had for this exhibition was that every single piece in here had to be wearable.
Each pair on display are shoes that have been carefully curated by famous artists from around the world.
I think there's a lot of reasons why we're interested in this, but I think that binary of high art and low art is being challenged through collaborations like this.
And for the shoe lovers out there, Artwear is an opportunity to lace up and learn about the kicks we know and love.
There's more than you think. It's interesting to find out, like, from the origin of shoes all the way up to what we wear today.
I think that it's interesting to think of sneakers as a canvas, because first of all, it's not really a blank canvas, right? If you choose to work on a Converse All-Star, it's saying one thing. If you choose to work on an Air Jordan 1, it's saying another thing.
Free to the public on Sundays, it's the perfect place to pop in to peep the fancy footwear. And heading into the spring, the Bata Shoe Museum is celebrating 30 years with a new exhibit with an ode to the cowboy boot opening in early May. Jessica Smith, CTV News, Toronto.
You'd think by how effortlessly he glides, he was born on the ice, but not so.
I'm from Australia, and it's a city called Gold Coast in Queensland.
17-year-old Hunter Boland admits Australia is not known for its hockey, but he learned to skate from a young age and the sport is growing there.
You know, there's a lot of rinks. I think there's maybe 12 or 13 all across Australia. We have a semi-professional league.
It's still nowhere near the level Canada is at, which is why Boland is now training at Kitchener's Victus Academy and growing his game.
I had a friend that used to live in Australia that then moved here, and he told me about the school, and the school reached out to me.
He attended Victus last year for a month and is now in his first full year.
I came back to Australia. I just noticed like a really big growth. Like I was just like light years ahead of everyone.
He wants to keep taking his game to new heights and maybe help grow Australia's presence in the NHL.
Yeah, there's one. His name's Nathan Walker. He plays for the Blues. He's probably the biggest Australian in the NHL.
So far, right?
Yeah, so far.
Over on the other rink at Victus, yet another Australian, 16-year-old Georgia Watts from Brisbane. She fell in love with the sport after learning to skate at just 3 years old. It's a much different experience in Australia.
They'd be assuming you play field hockey.
It's also her first year at Victus, making the move overseas to improve her skills.
I've improved so much since I've been here. I feel like I look like almost a completely new player out on the ice. It's been amazing to have this opportunity.
The recently formed Professional Women's Hockey League has given Watts renewed excitement for a future in hockey.
It's really inspiring to see the women's grow. It just makes me want to push myself so much more to be there and to get to that level.
While both players are well on their way, there are some things that are still a work in progress, like getting used to Canadian weather.
It's so cold.
And Canadian trash talk.
Yeah, I think we use a couple different words back in Australia. I don't know if I can say it, so I might not say it.
Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Kitchener.
Even with all the snow on the ground, Montrealers are already seeing potholes pop up.
Eh boy, y en a. Je veux dire, oui.
Terrible, y en a beaucoup.
Too much, it's horrible. In this city, they are a sure sign of warmer weather, says engineering professor Alan Carter.
Everything is thawing, water goes in the pavement, and with traffic, it just explodes in form of small holes.
Montreal isn't waiting to fix them, says city spokesperson Philippe Sabourin.
There is a lot of job needed to be done. We'll be back on track, hunting potholes starting tomorrow morning.
12 pothole patching trucks will be deployed across the city. Each one can fill up to 300 holes a day, says Sabourin.
Those trucks are efficient. Sometimes it takes a minute or two to fill potholes.
But no matter how many holes are filled, the city can't keep up, says CAA spokesperson David Marcil.
We have old infrastructures in Quebec and they really need to be maintained. But unfortunately, that maintenance wasn't done properly in the past years.
Marcil adds that neglect comes at a cost for everyone, especially drivers.
Anything related to the suspension, your tires, your mag can get damaged if you drive too fast in those.
Some Montrealers know that all too well.
About $30,000 worth of tires and mags.
It's really bad. It's always been like that, so we're just used to it. Driving, you have to do like a snake or something like that because there's too much.
When you go through a pothole and you hear the noise, it kind of like gets you, you know, and it's really hard to avoid.
The solution? More investment in road maintenance year-round, says Carter.
We would have less cracked and bad shaped pavement, so we would end up having less potholes.
It's not just the warm weather. The city says heavy machinery, like snowplows, are also bad for the roads, and so officials warn drivers to adjust their habits.
By slowing down your speed, try to not apply the brake once you're on the potholes, and that will help.
And to stay safe, drivers are reminded not to swerve, even if it means hitting a pothole. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil, CTV News.
The Gordie Howe International Bridge, set to be the longest cable-stayed bridge in North America, is not only a marvel of engineering, but also a significant source of employment for the Windsor-Essex region.
2025 is going to be a very exciting year for the Gordie Howe International Bridge.
Since construction began, thousands of workers have been employed, and now 3 new positions have just been posted.
Even before construction is done, some of these people will begin working. We need to ensure that when day one comes, after we've cut the ribbon, that everything is working well. And we need to start bringing some of the people on now to start doing that work to get us ready for operations.
Bridging North America, the team leading the construction is actively hiring. The new positions include a bridge and highway manager, a bilingual customer service representative manager, and a lead security officer.
It's really a lot of jobs that's really focusing in not just on people who have to, who people interact with as they cross the border, but managing the buildings, managing the ports, managing the landscaping.
Officials can't say yet just exactly how many jobs will soon become available, but experts say these positions are just the latest example of how this bridge is fueling the local economy.
We are really excited these jobs are here.
Once completed this fall, officials say the bridge will not only improve traffic flow, but also strengthen economic ties between Canada and the U.S. In the meantime, job seekers are encouraged to apply for the new opportunities.
I'm not sure what the pay scale would be, but I'm sure that it's going to be a living wage, and that's what people want. And this is going to be really exciting for a lot of our clients. So we'll make sure that we blast it out and we get the information to all of our clients. We'll post it on our job boards. We're really excited and want to hear more as they come along, as these jobs, come to our area.
We really encourage people to continue to follow us on social media, ask us questions that they may have. I mean, there's a lot going on, a lot of excitement, and we're here to talk to people and respond to them, and are interested in hearing what everyone else has to say too.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Hi, I'm Taya. I'm a dancer and a model and actor. And I dance with Dance Connection since I was 18 months old. I started in the Mommy and Me class with my mom, and I just really liked it and stuff, and I kept going. You get to meet new people. It takes you all kinds of places, and it's just fun to use your body and move around and stuff.
Taya is a super hard worker in anything she does, and she has this drive to figure out the details of everything, which helps in school and in dance, and she'll go home from the studio and just really work on whatever they give her. Super driven kid, super hard worker, good teammate, good friend. So super proud of her, and I think getting selected for the World Cup team, to me, makes sense. I think she deserves it, same as the other amazing dancers. Every year there's a Dance World Cup, and it's kind of like a mini Olympics. It's dancers from all over the world. So she sent in videos of her dancing, and then we got the email that she was selected for the team, which is a huge honor for any dancer, but especially when you're 9 years old.
I'm going to Spain with world performers. I'm doing World Cup practices right now. I have 5 dances, and then the rest of the time we'll just be exploring around Spain, and I'm really excited to explore and go outside of Canada. It's just fun to go to comps and be with your friends and just do what you love to do.
This arena may be empty now, but in a few months, it'll be filled with players of all ages, their sights set on summer training camps.
We have 18 different weeks of camps.
Some are evening, some are days, some go from the days to the evening.
From September to April, Gateway Recreation Centre follows the allocation policy outlined by the City of Winnipeg, which prioritizes primetime ice for community youth programs.
In the off-season, the ice allocation policy doesn't apply, and it's up to us to decide if we want to be open or not.
To help keep the lights on in the off-season, the Gateway Recreation Centre shifts to a business model that prioritizes bigger user groups or camps that tend to book desirable ice time and more of it.
If it wasn't for the big groups coming in, we probably would not be able to be open in the summer.
But some smaller groups and parents say they're feeling shut out.
There are really no safeguards to stopping those higher priority people from just grabbing all the ice.
Matt Betker lives in the neighborhood and has been coaching youth hockey for years. In 2022, he launched his own not-for-profit training camp and has always booked ice at Gateway, but not this year.
There definitely was ice on the weekends at undesirable times, which don't usually work for families.
The problem prompted Bechter to start a petition and push for change.
I just think right now the procedures are way too weighted towards like a business lens and not even really considering what the community needs.
Betker says he's drafted a proposal for a new procedure set to go before the board next week. CTV News spoke with Excessive Speed, one of the largest and longest running camps at the arena, who confirmed the bookings are standard procedure and that they use all the ice time allocated to them.
I'm not fighting with another camp, like I want to make that clear too. I just think those procedures are outdated and they need to change.
Area City Councillor Jeff Brawadi says he's working on a long-term solution for smaller community camps, though they may have to wait until the next off-season. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Winnipeg.
It's no surprise that Bryce Sharing is wearing a ring with family roots. However, when her boyfriend popped the question earlier this month, it was still a shock.
He's been like pretending to propose to me, kind of just like, I guess, his own strategy to kind of like get me off any kind of like idea that it's going to be coming up. And so when he was doing it, I didn't really believe it until he was like down on one knee, pulls out the ring, and there's like tears in his eyes, and he had asked me to marry him. And
Bryce soon realized the engagement ring had been handcrafted by her father, who has been a goldsmith for decades in Yorkton.
We made these like little gold bands during COVID because there wasn't much going on, and he kind of taught us how to make the rings. So we kind of shared that moment there where we like got to work with the gold and got to see how he did everything.
Yeah.
And then when I asked for his permission to marry Bryce, it was obvious that I was going to use him to help me make the ring and make it super special.
I've been doing this for 40 years, but this one here has got me.
The ring is made out of pure Canadian gold and Canadian diamonds, sourced directly from the Acadie mine in the Northwest Territories. Her dad, who is also named Bryce, says he had to hide the surprise from Bryce's mother, who works with him, all to capture the special moment on film.
Get some photography because I know my daughter is going to love it. She's going to want to have these little pictures of Dad doing this and, you know, that sort of thing. So I made a video.
They posted the video online and the story really took off.
And it was really cool that we like made a video and it went viral, because to me, it's just like, that's just what my dad does. But to other people, they thought it was so cool, wholesome and whatnot, which it is. It's a very special thing to me. But yeah, I've always kind of known my dad was going to be a part of the process, which is special.
A strong start for this couple who can't wait to start planning for the future. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Yorkton.
Cypress Hill is coming to Edmonton this spring. The Grammy-nominated rap group added Edmonton to its Canada Best Tour. Now, they will perform at Rogers Place May 1st. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. And it's the song that's synonymous with the Oilers winning, and now fans can hear La Bamba live in person when Los Lobos comes to Edmonton. They're playing the venue at River Cree on May 15th. Pre-sale tickets go on sale tomorrow with the general public on Friday.
The Saskatchewan junior hockey team is one step closer to moving to Warman. The SJHL has conditionally granted the relocation of the Notre Dame Hounds franchise to Warman, but local officials say there's still lots of work to do. An ownership group says it's met with Warman City Council to discuss details of bringing the team to the city. One of the things they'll need is community support through advanced ticket sales. Locals say ice time is already hard to come by with just 2 arenas and hundreds of minor hockey players. Mayor Gary Filipchuk says the city is supportive of the idea.
We're looking early March will be the proposal coming. We're not going to be set on that date as March 10th, I believe it is. But we're not going to be set on that date as making a decision. That'll probably go back and forth a bit. Right now, our administration's working with some of the specifics that we talked about in camera to really look at what are the things that we need and what are the things that they need to try and make this happen.
Warman has hosted multiple SJHL showcases.
A special ceremony today at the Hard Rock Hotel at Kellogg Lane. A giant guitar that stands in front of the main entrance was unveiled. It's a 32-foot tall art piece created locally out of 12,000 pounds of stainless steel. The hotel is now accepting reservations, planning for an opening in the spring. The music-centered experience is the first Hard Rock hotel in Canada and the country's only UNESCO City of Music. The teams involved say they are excited to bring this entertainment destination to London.
I know everybody at our shop is very proud. A couple of the guys are coming here today. Everybody's quite proud of it. We're looking forward to seeing it unveiled.
We're just incredibly excited. Our team has been working really hard to bring something really special to London and to Ontario. And this is just a really great first opportunity for people to see the amount of work, the amount of effort that's gone into creating something really, really special here in London.
When Jacob Hageman began walking up this hill, his feet were small, but his dreams were big.
As a kid, you just want to see what you could do with the shovel and move dirt.
The then 5-year-old wondered if he could move enough dirt, perhaps he could move in to the cave that remained.
It wasn't just like decorating my room. It was actually I could physically create and make a space.
So every day in the summer, Jacob would dig a little bit. Despite every winter finding the cave would collapse a lot.
That dream just never really died. It existed in my head, and it was just something that I had to tackle.
So Jacob kept digging for a decade until he was 15, and his dad, impressed with his determination, surprised his son with a visit from an excavator.
It's unbelievable. I thought that looks a lot bigger than my shovel.
After completing what would have been a whole summer's worth of digging with just one scoop, a sturdy structure was buried inside the hole. And after watching the Lord of the Rings movies, Jacob was inspired to create a space that looked like a hobbit's home.
That gave me a vision and a beauty to go, hey, my pit looks ugly. What can I do to make it?
Over the next 13 years, Jacob taught himself all the skills he'd need to transform his hole in the hill into an underground home.
You know, like Disneyland, you look around and it's visually immersive, and it's a little escape from the world.
It features a wood-burning fireplace that illuminates tile on the floor, a chandelier on the ceiling, and in between, a pantry to store sustenance, a bookshelf to cultivate knowledge, and handmade chairs to welcome company.
It is a satisfying feeling to now have a space to go, and I have friends over, and we have food and drink and good times.
And all year round, Jacob can feel grateful that a boy with unbridled imagination, thanks to unending determination and unexpected generosity, grew up to be a man who made his dream come true. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Chilliwack.